Okay, good evening to you all. Today is 30 January 2025, which is the beginning of our week 17 of the 6-month virtual internship. Like always, we start by showing our outlines. That is what we are to cover for the entire week. So, in this week, we are going to have a recap, like always, on week 16. That is what we covered in week 16. And also today we are going to start talking about comment in SQL. I'll talk about that. And we are going to talk about select command in SQL. We'll talk about from. We'll also look at how to rename a column, how to update data in SQL. And we'll talk about the where clause or where command in SQL. After that, we'll have question and answer, conclusion, and then we call it a day. So, we have a lot to cover today. I think from what I'm thinking, maybe this class will finish it today, or maybe we'll continue tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking because I want us to cover SQL this week 17 so that week 18 we talk about something else. Week 19 you work on your capstone project, and week 20 we call everything a day, and that is the final week. So I will see the possibility of holding the class tomorrow also so that okay, tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, I'll see the possibility of holding the class tomorrow so that we'll cover everything in SQL by tomorrow, so that this week will be done with SQL. Then next week we'll start something else. So recap on what we discussed in week 16. You all know that we talk about the SQL interface, we talk about data types in SQL, constraints, how to create database, auto increment, constraints, and we also talk about to create table and how to also insert data into tables using SQL command. And I also told you please to go ahead and practice all this, to insert data, to create your database, so that when we are here this week, we'll just go ahead and keep working with it. And you too, you can have what to use and what to practice with all what you're going to learn. So let's go to my studio. Let me open mine where it is. Okay, so here it is. Let me connect. So here I'm sharing my screen. So here it is. Let me connect. Okay, so I'm connected. So we already have database and already have database also, and the database that I'm using to work is this Hammad. And under this Hammad, we have a lot of tables under it. Look at the tables. We have finance, we have Hammad, we have Nigeria, we have salary, we also have staffs under this Hammad database. So that's the database that we are going to work with. So I'll click on new query, and I'm going to declare that that's the database that we want to use. So I'm going to say use Hammad. That's the database. That's the name of the database that we are going to use. So I'm executing it, and it says command successfully because we are going to use the data. I already showed you that last week. I show you whenever you want to use a database, you can just write the name of the database and say use Hammad. That's it. Okay. So the first thing we are going to talk about today, we are going to talk about a command in SQL, how to write a command. Almost all programming language comment, not command, comment. Almost all programming languages has a way of writing a comment in them. Are you writing comment in where you are coding? When you are writing scripts or you're writing any programming languages, the reason why you need to write a comment is, sometimes you might not be around to explain your codes, or you might not be available. You can even be someone, maybe you can even, died or something like that, but your codes remain there. It's a practice that, okay, they don't want the programmers doesn't want the course to end with you. They want it to be a continuous knowledge. So whenever you are writing a course, there is a way you can write a comment explaining or giving a description of why you use a particular course, or what a particular course stand for. So that's what that comment is all about. So when any programming language, there is a way you can write comment in it. All programming languages that you know. So like I told you, SQL is a programming language on its own. So that way also there is a way you can write a comment explaining block of quotes what they meant. So whenever you want to write something, okay, we can say, okay, this quote is calculating column this and column this. Then you write it for people. When they are reviewing your quotes, they can tell that, okay, he is explaining this. And take note, any quote that you put in inside a comment, it will not execute, it will not appear in the real work. And when you execute the code, it will not appear, it will not affect your work. So that one thing about the comment, all you need to is to explain why you use other codes and why you write some of the codes. So that way I want to take you through the comment so that you will know it in case when you are doing interview or sometime you can be asked, how do you write comment in SQL? You need to know how to do that. So there are two ways to write a comment in SQL. If you're writing a comment that will only take one single row, there is a way you write it. But if you are writing a comment that will take more than one row, maybe it will take 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, then there is a way you can write it. So for a comment that will be on one line, that is in one line on one single row, you need to put dash like 3 of it and write whatever you want to write. Maybe this is the beginning of my SQL journey. So this line that you put, you see it turned into green. This green color that you see, it you are just writing a comment. Even if you execute whatever you execute, it will not show any error. Nothing will happen. This is like it's not there, but it's a comment trying to explain what you are doing. So that's number one way of doing that. But when you are writing a comment of different rules, that is, it's not on single line. You have to do it in different rows. Then you need to write it like this. You need to put forward slash, then you put asterisk, then you come down and put asterisk, then you put backward slash. So you see that how it is. So forward slash asterisk, then you come down and put forward slash. So now it means that I can come inside here and say this is the beginning of, you see, of my SQL journey. All this will be inside one single comment because you create it like this. And this comment you see, if I come down and write anything, you see it's not a blue. Once it is not a blue, when you execute, it will definitely show you error. You see, you could not find a store procedure for this particular LJKL. So that's something that is not in SQL. So that's why you need to use comment to write it. Please understand this. It will help you one day, especially when you are, during interview or when you are conducting maybe a test or something like that, you might be asked this question about a comment. So this is the comment, and please try to, whenever you are writing your codes in SQL, in as much, especially when you are sending the data for someone or you are writing the commands for someone, especially complex commands, complex queries, please write a comment on that, explain why you write such or why you do that. So that what it is, and that what comment is all about. So the next thing after comment that we are going to talk about is select and from command. Okay, this like are the backbone of the SQL entirely. I want you to understand this because once you understand what all this select and from is all about, it's like you are halfway up understanding SQL. And once you understand this, believe me, you will find SQL very, very easy to use. It's not something difficult. Select has to do with, select has to do with, sorry, please, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me, please? I'm sorry. Select has to do with what are you selecting within the table that you want to use. What are you selecting within the table that you want to use? While from has to do with the column that you are selecting within the table. So understand this. Understand this. When you say, for example, Like I said, what you want to select from the what you want to select from the table you want to use. So in select, you select whatever you want to select. For example, you want to select a particular column, you name the column. You want to select two columns, you name the columns. You want to select everything, you name what you want to select. From is where you want to select what you want to select. For example, you want to select it from which table. So in this now we are using this database Hammad. So we need to write a select. What are we selecting and from what table? So first of all, take note. You need to, whenever you write select and from, please write the name of what you want to select, the table you want to select from before you write what you want to select from the table. That's the one thing that I want to maybe tell you. So when I say select, then you come here and say from. So now we have a lot of tables. I already show you. We have a lot of tables here. We have finance and math, Nigeria, salaries, staffs, and whatever. But what I want to use, let me use the table Nigeria. Just write this table Nigeria. Let me close this with colon. So now I just say select from Nigeria. What do I want to select? What I want to select. Now this is where you specify what you want to select. So you can select a particular column from this table Nigeria. This is the name of the table. You can select a particular column from the table Nigeria. You can select everything that is under this table Nigeria, which that's what I want to do first. Then we will go ahead and start selecting specific columns that we want to select using that. So to select everything under this table Nigeria, you need to put the asterisk. This star that you can see is what stands for all. So it means select all from this table Nigeria. I want to select everything from the table. Let me highlight this because I have this. Let me remove this so that I can execute everything like this. Let me just click execute. So what it's going to do for us is it's going to select everything that is under this table Nigeria. It's going to select it and show it for us. Look at it now. We have everything here like this. So it means that we select all from what? From table Nigeria. That is, we select all this data from Nigeria. Like I said, you can select specific columns, maybe specific data that you want, not all the columns that I want now. Let's say I just want to select full name. So you need to write this full name the way it is. You need to write full name the way it is. So what you are going to do is write full name. Select full underscore name from Nigeria. So now if I execute, it will only select full name for us and return the full name data. Let's say maybe I want to select two columns. Maybe I want to select ID, comma, then full name, then I execute. Then it's going to add ID column, it's going to add full name column for us. So this is what this select is all about. Like I said, you start with the from because this from is, it will not change. So this is what you keep changing whenever you want to select something in your data. So now I select everything. If I have specific columns that I want to select, then I will say maybe I want to select NIN, I want to select gender, I want to select state, I want to select this. But this from Nigeria, you will not change it. It will remain static and it will remain from this particular table. Unless maybe I want to change the table. I have a table that calls tabs. You see this, the table is tabs. Maybe if I select it, it's going to show all the stuff for us because that's the name of the table. I have a table called Hammad. If you select it, it will show you the table with the name Hammad. So that's the name of the table. So any table you want to use, please go ahead and use the table and go ahead and call the table, the name of the table. So I'm going to use this table Nigeria. Then I will select it and it's going to look like this. Please, do you understand this? We are together because I want you to understand this select and from because it's the backbone of everything that we are. Okay, can you hear me? Sorry, my network just have some issues. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? Okay, so that's post select. So now let's learn how to update a particular column name in SQL. In this, let's write a command in that. So to do that, we'll still leave it select all from Nigeria. But after that, we are going to use another execution. We are going to use another, command for us to update the name of a particular column. So let's say, for example, we want to change the name of from this column that we have. Let's say this department, we want to change the name of department to profession. We want to change it to profession or sector. Let's change it to profession. So what you are going to do is you are going to use execution command. You are going to use execution command using this SP procedure because this command is not the same with all commands that we are going to use. It's just kind of unique to this management studio that we are using. So we are using this execute this SP rename command. After that, then you put single quote and you write the name of your table. That is Nigeria dot the name of the old name of the column that you want to update, please. So when you say Nigeria dot, we want to change the name of department. So I'm writing department, then I'll close the single quote, then I put comma, then I put the new name that I want to put to that particular column inside single quote. So I'll call it profession or I'll call it sector. Let me call it sector. So I already have my column, then I'll execute. So now when you execute, sorry, now we execute. Okay, so let me just update this. So you see that department changed into sector instead of department that we have. Now we change the name to sector. So if you want to bring it back, then you come back and change it to sector and you turn this to department. Then you are going to do it again and it's going to rename the column for you. So if you want to rename the column, this is the way that you want to do that. But there is other SQL command of rename that you can use there in other MySQL and the name which is not the same with this one. But in this studio, this is how you rename a column using this command query. The next thing we are going to do is the next thing we are going to do is we are going to learn how to update a particular data. Like I said, I'm just trying to recall what we have on our outlines. So we want to update a particular data. That's what we are going to do. Updating a particular data. For example, now, I want to update the full name of this person with null. Or maybe I want to update anything here. I want to update maybe anything, maybe the full name, maybe the gender of someone, or maybe anything that we want to update. That's what we are going to do. That's what you are going to learn how to update. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we use update command to do that. So you are going to say updates. I'm deleting this. You are going to say updates. Then you call the name of the table that you want to update. So the first thing that you want to put inside this update, you are using a command that is called set. So under this set command, you are going to write whatever you want to update. So first of all, let's say I want to update the full name of this particular person with ID 11. So let me say I want to update the person. So I'm going to say update, let me say uh, full name is equals to, then I want to say, for example, I want to call the full name to be Aisha Ahmad, for example. I want to do that. Maybe I want to update maybe gender. If you want to update gender, then maybe you see gender equals to. So let's say I want to say gender to be male. So that's all. So after this, you need to use a where clause. This where clause is a conditional clause that specifies where you want to apply your queries. Don't worry, I just show you this where now. We'll talk about the where after this query. We'll talk about this where, what you can do with it. But for now, just look at what this where is going to do for us. So you are going to specify where you want to apply this update. So we want to apply this update to this particular ID 11. So I just want to say where ID is equals to 11. Then I put my colon. That's all what I want from this. So I'm updating that particular data of full name, that is the name of the column, and gender, the name of the second column. So where is gender? So I have to put it in capital letter. Sorry. I have to put gender in capital letter the way it is. So I'm going to say gender. So gender in capital letter male. So I'm updating this female to male. I'm updating this Saudatu Sani Umar to Aisha Ahmad. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it only to this particular ID where this ID is equals to 11. That's what I'm doing to update my data. So I can highlight everything now, then I'll execute. So when I execute, it just told me that one row affected. That means I updated one single row. So let's apply our select and see what we have done so far to this update. So I'm going to say select all from Nigeria, then I'll execute. So now if you look at this ID 11, it turns to Aisha Ahmed and the gender turns to male, not female again. Hello, can you hear me? My network has some issue. I don't know why. Can you hear me, please? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I show you how to update the data. Please, that's how you can go ahead and do that. What we are going to discuss now, we are going to talk about where clause. So since we have this select all already, you know how to do this select all. Let me remove this. Okay, let me write it back again so that I'll show you something. So now this where, let me add it here for you. Please, these three commands, understand them well, because like I said, if you understand these two, select and from, you are halfway. If you understand this where, believe me, you are almost done with the SQL. You are almost done in understanding what SQL is all about. So now this where is the third command that you are going to keep writing. Please take this practice of writing them separate on separate row. It will help you a lot to understand how you are writing these commands. Because one thing about these commands, once you failed, to uh, to follow this and you missed a step, it's going to be an issue for you. So that why whenever you are writing this command, please follow it like this. First of all, write your select from, then maybe where. Whatever you want to do in between, then you go ahead and do it later. So this where is just like a filter. Like I said before, it's just a condition or a filter that will specify what you want. That's what it will do for you. It has all the logical operators, all the comparison, and whatever you know. All the operators, you can use them here to get whatever you want. It's just for filtering. So you can narrow everything that you want within single command, and it will narrow it for you. It will give you whatever you want using this where plus. So let's start with this, all these operators that you know, the logical, the operators, and all these comparison operators that you know. Let's talk about them. You see, we have equal sign as you discussed it in your this thing in your Excel, in your Power BI. You know, we have equal sign. So I can tell this where command, I can filter it that I say where only where the sector is equals to data science. Look at all the sectors that we have here. But I can say I only need the sector that is what? That is data science. So I'm going to say what? Where sector is equals to, then I'll write the name the way it is, data science. That's all. Then I'll execute. So it's going to filter everything for me and return only the data from people that are under data science sector. So let's execute and see. You see, within 1 second, assuming you have millions of rows, this is what will happen to you when you execute this query. Even if the rows are millions, you are not going to start doing this, filtering, this, filtering, this, filtering. You are not going to do that. All you need is to write this, even if the data is two, even if it is 1 billion rows, once you execute this, it will just filter it for you and give you whatever you want within this simple query. So that's one thing about this. So I just filter it with what? With this. And this is equal to. So in this, we have not equal to. For not equal to, all you need is to add exclamation mark. When you add exclamation mark, not equal to is the opposite of this. That means it will remove all that are from data science and return only those that are not from data science. So it says sector is not a data science. So when you execute now, it will return all other people and remove the what? The data science department people. So that what this not equal to did for you. We also have the greater sign, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. All these are other comparison that we have also in this where clause that we can also use. So let's say, for example, we want to say those that are collecting a salary of more than 15,000. Okay, so let's say we want to filter people that are collecting a salary. Let's say that a salary is more than, let's say, 80,000. Salary is more than 80,000. So I'm going to say salary where salary, that is salary column, is greater than. So when we are writing integer, I told you you don't need to put single quote in that. All you need to write is 80,000. That is where salary is greater than what? 80,000. Then you execute and it's going to filter only those that are collecting a salary that is more than 80,000. And take note, when you say greater than 80,000, 80,000 excluded. So if you want to include the 80,000, you need to put equal sign. That is where salary is greater than or equals to 80,000. That means 80,000 now will be included. And that's why we have this 80,000 here. And we can also get less than where salary is less than 80,000. So it will only return those that are collecting salary that is less than 80,000. And also in this case, 80,000 is excluded. If you want to include 80,000, you want to apply less than or equals to 80,000 and you select everything, you execute, and it's going to return all the people that are collecting salary of greater than, less than, or equals to 80,000. These are the operators that you can use also in this, the comparison operators that you can use to do this. We have the logical operator that you can use that has to do with and or. So I can say I want to see people that are collecting salary of, salary is equals to 80,000, and also let me say and gender is equals to female. So I just want to see a female that is collecting a salary which is equals to, or let's say which is greater than 80,000. I want to see female that is collecting a salary of more than 80,000 within this particular company. Please do you understand this? So, and for and let me tell you this, for and all the condition must be true. I told you this when we are dealing with and. All the condition must be true for you to see the result. So let me apply this and execute. Okay, so we don't have, you see? Okay, is I put double quote, sorry, I have to use single. So that's the issue. So let me execute. So you see, it returned two females for us. One is collecting 350,000, the other is collecting 150,000. That's for the females, that's the female gender. So this is what this and is doing for you. So when you are applying and you are putting different condition and all the condition must be true. So I want the salary to be more than 80,000. I want gender to be what? The gender to be female. If you have something else, you can add another condition and you want something. It will only filter it for you once you write this command and it's go ahead and do it for you. Please understand all this and pay attentively. We are going to give you a assignment. This week you are going to have assignment and your assignment is all going to be based on these queries. Don't tell me your studio is not working. This is has to do with your logic, it has to do with your understanding. You can find a sheet of paper and write all this by yourself. When I learn all this SQL, I don't have computer that can take this studio. this management SQL server. So I use just paper and all this. I understand how it is. I understand how it is. I'll just use paper and do the derivation of how to write all these queries. So it's a best practice. You don't need a computer to learn all this. You don't need your head to just go ahead and do this. So up head, you can be thinking, you can be explaining all this when you understand how it works. So the next thing we are going to use is O. So for the O, you already know what O did. O is just like what can I say? It's just opposite of and, but only one condition can work. So even if it got someone who is having 80,000 or is a female, to return that for us. So it's not only all the condition must be any of the condition that is true, it will return the data for us. So look at it. Where salary is greater than 80,000. So if you are a male and you are collecting more than 80, it will return your name. And gender is female. So once your gender is female, it will return your name. So it means that once your gender is female, you are qualified, even if your salary is not up to 80,000. And once your salary is greater than 80,000, you are qualified, even if you are a male. So this is what this O did for us. Please, do you understand this? Okay. So now, what we are going to talk about is, let me talk about this between. When we talk about between, after this and O, there is this logical of between. So the between is just you want to specify within the range that you want to return the particular data. Maybe I want to say I want to see people between 80,000 and 100,000. That's the type of people that are, or 80,000 and 150,000. So I can say where salary between 80,000 and 150,000. So let me execute this. I'm not sure if I'm, yeah. So it returned this. So this is what this between did for you. Where salary between 80,000 and what? 150,000. So it will return all the people that are collecting that particular salary. You see, this query, let me tell you one thing about this query. It's very, very easy. It's very, very easy and very awesome if you understand how it works. It's not confusing. Don't confuse yourself. It's very easy. That way, when you have all this big data, in Nigeria, normally we don't use all this data from database. We don't use that normally. But if one as much, in as much as you find yourself in a place that are using database and that, just connect to your studio. You have this knowledge of SQL. Believe me, within some seconds, you can write your report and give it to them. You see all these queries that I'm writing. If the data is, you see, within some, it's not even 1 second, it's less than some milliseconds, it will just do the work for you. So if you have this knowledge, even if the data is 200 million people and the data was given to you, let me tell you, within 10 minutes, you can analyze the data and give you a report on that data. Within 10 minutes. All you need is to finish all the analyzing, save all the results, go to your Power BI and just create your visualization. That's all. That's why you need to learn this. That's why you need to understand it. I told you, oh, some of my class, I told them that if you are very good and you have a very big data, don't work with Excel because Excel cannot do that for you because it only has 1 million rows, cannot do the work for you. If you have maybe it's 10 million rows of data that you have, please bring your data to SQL. Put it in SQL, do your cleaning, save everything, take it back to Power BI or Excel again. Do your visualization. That's all. That's how it works. Because in SQL, you cannot do visualization with SQL. You can only use all the data processing issues, data analysis things. That's all what you can do with what? With SQL. So please understand all this is very, very, very easy to use. So I think I'm having a very bad network today. The network is very bad. I think at least we have covered a lot today in this. So let's just stop here so that when we come back tomorrow, we can continue from where we stop so that we can go ahead and start working with all the aggregation function, the sum, the multiplication, the division, the subtraction, the count, the whatever, all that we are going to talk about them when we come back tomorrow. And I want us to finalize everything when we come back tomorrow on this SQL. We are going to finish everything tomorrow so that we'll round it up by tomorrow. So if you have a question, please ask your question. And for the assignment, I think we are not going to give the assignment maybe until tomorrow when we are done with everything so that you will have everything with you. And so you can write all the queries by yourself. Please, I'll share this video, or maybe we wait till tomorrow, but I could have shared this video with you to watch. But let's wait till tomorrow. I hope you just jot what you want to jot, you can jot. So practice that so that tomorrow I'll put all the videos together and share them with you all together. So SQL is very interesting, it's very easy, and it's very awesome. That all this that you have learned, when you just write because one thing about the SQL, if I copy this query now and I send it to you, if you execute it, it'll do the same work for you. So within that, why you see in Nigeria when they tell you they are taking time to finalize data, you will just laugh. You will just laugh. Even if the data is much, you will just laugh. It's because what are they saying? That's why all this salary payroll that they text them 1 month for them to clear salary for the next month. You see, all this, if they have this knowledge, it's not something that will waste their time. It's something that within 1 second you can pinpoint all what you want to pinpoint, all what you want to have. You can know them and you can learn them within a short period of time. So this is it, and this is what we are going to discuss today. Please let's call it a day, and tomorrow I think we are going to finalize everything and call it and draw the curtain on this SQL, and we continue next week. So I'm yet to see any question from anybody, so I think we can call it a day, and we meet tomorrow. So please let's meet tomorrow and finalize this. Uh, let's just meet tomorrow by 9 p.m. so that we finalize this SQL together. Thank you so much, and I think see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful dream. Bye.